I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Brandi Sea. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Oh man, it's a little chilly, but I'm doing pretty good.
Wonderful. And what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in New Mexico in the United States. I'm just outside of Albuquerque.
Oh, wonderful. I have a great friend in Albuquerque. Big up to Paco Maldonado. He's a pretty amazing guy. I'm guessing everyone in Albuquerque is amazing.
Oh, you know.
Well, Brandi, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Oh man, I mean, I'm guessing it was my podcast, which kind of centers around design thinking and creative encouragement.
Yeah, podcaster, family podcaster. Tell us more.
I've been a graphic designer for over 15 years, and I decided I needed a platform to share my knowledge to help the design world be better at design thinking and problem solving, and started writing a blog about 3 years ago, then decided to do a YouTube channel, and the podcast was kind of a natural next step, and it's actually turning out to be the most successful.
Love it. So who did you learn the skill of creativity from?
Oh man, I can't say I really learned it from any one place. I've always been creative and artistic. I do hold a bachelor's degree in graphic design, but most of what I do has been a product of my education and personal experiences in the field of graphic design. I've done everything from, the basic logo to environmental design, stage design, apparel, packaging, all sorts of stuff. So I think I have a good place to work from when encouraging lots of different kinds of creatives.
That's good. Why will you continue to repeat this skill? Let me just plug though. I love the way you did the colors in the back of your logo. I mean, it's black and white, and then your podcast logo, and then there's the color in the back there. What are the words in the back of that?
The graphics are it's a mix of just things that I've said before. There's design speaks, design works, design matters. It's kind of my tagline, my slogan. I believe that design works, that design speaks to us, and more than anything, that people need to understand that design matters. It's not frivolous. It's not fine art that you can live, possibly without. Graphic design solves problems, and that's something that I think people don't quite understand. But yeah, it's just kind of a handwritten version of a lot of things that I say about design, kind of tucked in the artwork there.
Love it. Yeah. So why will you continue to repeat this skill?
Oh, I can't see myself not designing. To me, design is my lifeblood. It's my passion. Everything from design thinking to actually physically designing something. I love seeking out new design inspiration because, design is always new and it's always exciting, and it allows me to grow as a person and as a creative. There's never a dull moment, and as long as you have that desire to keep learning, that skill can just grow.
Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I write just about every day. I try to get up about 5:30 every morning to write for about 15 to 30 minutes. I kind of had to do that because I wanted to get this blog started. And, sometimes you don't really feel like writing. You don't feel creative. But if you have a habit of it, it just kind of becomes something you do. And I've been doing that for about 3 years now. And it really helps me to stay motivated to keep writing.
How does it make you feel doing that so early in the morning?
Yeah. It takes some going, but it actually makes me feel better about my day overall, just as, a basic. But in the context of my work, I really feel like everything starts with words, whether it's, the YouTube videos, the podcast, the blog, obviously. But even the process that I use when I'm doing design work, I start everything with words, like physically writing on a paper. And so I feel like writing a bunch of words kind of gets my brain going and makes me feel like I've already accomplished something, even though I'm just like sitting in my pajamas writing.
Why would you suggest that to someone, that someone do that? Specifically, I love the elements of what you said, that you needed to make the time so that you could get this done. Why would you suggest someone who wants to explore their creativity do the similar thing?
Yeah, I think something that a lot of creatives discount is the necessity of, how do I say this? Like, growing their brain in other areas that aren't specifically artistic. So I think anyone who has a desire to create anything consistently should really develop a habit of writing, especially if you want to blog or create any kind of consumable content. You end up living in an atmosphere where you don't wait to feel creative. When you write every day, you just choose to be, and then you are. It's kind of like a catch-22,
Yeah,
but a good one.
Yeah. It reminds me of the book Stephen Pressfield wrote called The War of Art. Pretty amazing book.
Oh, I have not read it. It's on my list.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying and sums up that exactly the way you did. Just a bit more in depth.
Amazing.
Love it. Yeah, well done, my friend. Well,
thank you.
You're welcome. Amazing audience. We are live again with Brandi Sea. You can definitely connect with her via her podcast. Again, Design Speaks via Brandi Sea. Where would you want someone else to connect with you, be it online?
Yeah, you can find all of my content at brandisea.com. It's BRANDISEA, and you can find me that same name, Brandi Sea, everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I am the only one, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding me.
Love it. Well, Brandi, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Oh, man.
Brandi, it's like Brandi Sea, right?
Yes.
Brandi, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Okay. I think my earliest memory is probably of my mom and dad playing with me in our neighborhood pool. Yeah.
Right.
They were kind of tossing me back and forth between them. Just
All right.
it was sort of strange memory, but that's as far as I go back, I think.
How old do you think you were?
Oh boy, I was probably like 1 or 2, because I've asked them about this specific memory and they were like just amazed that I remembered something that young.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
It's a really happy and kind of a freeing memory. My parents have also always been, they're very creative people, but they're very I don't know, kind of freewheeling and adventurous. Thinking back, like, I don't know that I would have been tossing my 1-year-old back and forth between me and my husband in a pool. So thinking back, it's like, okay, they like are okay with taking safe risks, and I kind of think that's where I'm like good to step out on ledges when it comes to creativity.
Oh, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Oh, sure.
I love the idea of the concept of Brandi seeing. I mean, just the connection with the water and the value that it brings in terms of the mobility it gives you, in terms of the opportunity to jump out into places that may seem unsafe, or the landing may seem to be challenging. But when you are in the sea or the pool in that memory, it gives you the opportunity to be creative. It gives you the opportunity to remove boundaries of what would have happened normally, if you would. So to see you call yourself a Brandi Sea is just fascinating how that connects to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's my middle name. So my parents have always kind of, I really believe my name has shaped who I am as a person, and I'm really excited to kind of have that in my, DNA from the very beginning.
Love it. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh boy. Nobody has good songs from when they were 12, do they? I think it was probably a song called Jesus Freak by this band called DC Talk. Really obscure. They were like a 90s Christian band, rock-ish type band. So yeah, sort of odd.
Well, there's the the story of Jesus walking on water, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right,
Jesus
Brandi
has
Sea.
lots of encounters with water.
Most definitely. Well, Brandi, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here.
Okay.
Are you ready, Brandi?
Yes.
Brandi, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I would say everyone. I wanted to have platforms so that I could share what I have to offer.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe in God?
I absolutely do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
A few, yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I don't think so. My life is so busy. I don't think that's possible.
I'm just smiling at your high-toned, high-pitched voice singing there.
Yeah, no, maybe some days. Depends on the day, I guess.
Well, what about 3 hours a week?
3 hours a week. Yeah, I mean, I probably average about a couple hours a day.
Okay, so it's probably
just
like 10.
three or more is stretching it.
Okay, cool. And what about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
At this point, it's probably between 5 and 6. Unless I have a lot of client projects going, then it's a free-for-all. It could be 10.
Brandi, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Brandi Sea, what would you say that is?
Oh, man. It would probably either the tagline that I already shared with you, design speaks, design works, design matters, or process is key.
Love it. Brandi, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I mean, find me everywhere I am. I love to get questions from the audience on anything design and creativity related. I'm here to help.
Brandi Sea, again, great pleasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.